posted today. Now, y'all know I normally don't do response videos very often, but when I do, it's usually in a situation where I feel like I need to speak to the ignorant people out here, you know? And we're going to talk about men going your own way, and we're going to talk about men who are red pill. I have experience in knowing the ideology and the roads that are traveled in that particular each path that you take, right? So we're going to get into it. Let's see. Shout out, let's see the people that's here. Shout out to Sean, Oliver, Naima, B, Jalil, D, Grim, Vern, Gerard, let's see. Is it Shakam, Jado, Nick the Magnificent, Abby, Edward, Alijari, Tavon, DT Art, man. What's going on? Make sure y'all like the stream, man. Now, this stream is not going to be long. I might not even take phone calls. Y'all know, you know what's crazy? I messed up. I said I was going to go to the movies yesterday to watch Bad Boys 3, right? But then I didn't go. Yesterday went by fast. I don't know what it was. But I plan on going tonight. I'm going to try to get there tonight. So I want to get this stream in before I go. So hopefully y'all went and saw the video that I posted today about Cam Newton. So y'all got to definitely check that out. But I really want to speak on this because just hearing this woman and then seeing all her female sheep in the chat room, most of those women are probably single or single mothers. It's either one of the two. But when you see the amount of ignorance, it's crazy. Oh, yeah, Christina? Yeah, I'm going to try to get out there tonight. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Greg. Beth. Well, Beth, I guess you just don't like the series, which is fine if you haven't seen it. I'm speaking to the people who have. You know? I'm going to play y'all some of her audio, but I want to say this. You know, what's good, Shantia? What's good, John? I really believe that there are women out here who are getting in their own way when it comes to dating. They just don't understand that men are not dumb or not as socially dumb as they probably were. They understand what's going on out here. Make sure y'all like the stream, get the likes up, people. You know, share the stream. And it's to me, it's sad that you got all these women who have the potential to have the type of relationships that they want and families that they want, but they're just so mentally screwed up. There's no fixing them. A lot of the people that support Shira 7 are middle-aged single mothers who have never been able to have any type of, they've never had any type of self-reflection. What's good, young manhood? Shout out to Bryant Shepard. Keep up the great work, Jay. Appreciate that, Bryant. Men understand women a lot more in their nature now than they did 10 years ago. And because of that, there are a lot of women who can't accept the fact that there are men who would rather be single and I won't say celibate, but be voluntarily celibate and not deal with them than date them. And they can't fathom that because growing up, you had a lot of women who are always getting hit on, dudes always wanting to sleep with them. So they don't understand what it's like to deal with men who are not going to be thirsty for them. They don't understand that. So when you hear women like Shira and all these gold digger advice givers, who are trying to teach women to be deceptive, which is another way to keep these women single, because you're not going to be able to deceive a man with money and resources. I'm sorry. These men pick and choose the women that they're with. And they're not going to choose some middle-aged single mother who is mentally screwed up. So they get on social media and they follow women like Shira 7 because they don't have a mind of their own. They're followers. Okay? They follow because she's biracial and they like the way she looks aesthetically in the camera, and they like her personality because they don't have one of their own. She really doesn't have one. She's just very condescending, and she is funny. Shira is funny. Shira, I can listen to Shira and laugh at certain things, but some of these other females, nah. What's good, Chris? So they want to hop in these chat rooms and these comment sections and talk about, you know, how MGTOWs are weird. Oh, MGTOWs are weird. Red pill men are weird. You know, Shira, and I'm gonna play it. She talked about how there's no MGTOWs in society. There's no men going around, you know, spreading their ideology. There are no men talking about how red pill they are at their jobs or socially because they want to sleep with women. And you know what? That is the case. But if you look at my commentary and you see how I speak about women and female nature, and you still have women who are willing to listen to me, you still have women who are willing to call into my shows and donate to me, seek my advice, and I say the things that Shira 7 says that grown men are afraid to say in real life. Well, lucky for me, I don't work for nobody except me. I don't work for no woman. I don't work for no man. I don't work for anybody. So maybe I'm in a different space to where I can say whatever I want. But even if I worked in a workplace with men and women, that don't mean I'm going to change my ideology. I'm still going to stand up for myself. I'm not going to let no woman walk all over me at no job. Simple as that. So when you hear her saying that we're afraid to be who we are outside of social media, you're talking about the men who are constantly trying to hit you up for sex. Those are the men that are afraid to be themselves outside of social media. Are there a lot of dudes who are fake, who are one way on social media and different outside of it? Yes. Okay. And those sometimes are the hardcore MGTOWs. They're the hardcore ones. Some of these hardcore ones are some of the biggest simps. Okay. All you got to do is put them in a room or put them in a setting where it's them and it's just them and other women. You're going to see the real them. Okay. So I'm not saying that she's totally wrong, because she's right as far as there are guys who are not truly going their own way. They're just saying it on social media. They're just saying it on social media just to fit in, which is actually dumb, because why do you need to say all that to fit in? You know? So let's hear a little bit of what Shira 7 had to say. And I'm not going to interrupt too much, but hopefully she and YouTube understands it's fair use. Okay. I'm not putting her visuals up because it'll be easier for it to be flagged if I put the visuals up. So I'm just going to play the audio so y'all can hear what's going
on. So many people that claim the MGTW title, they have not really understood their own title, because they're only that online. Okay. Level up goes further than online. It goes into the real world. Right.
Now, the name of this live stream that she did is called To the, I guess she meant to say feminine, but it's like the feminine, MGTOW, time is up, or whatever. Listen, men can be single a lot longer than women. Women are out here basically begging for relationships.
With men, it stops online because half y'all's women's are bosses. Half y'all bosses are women. Half y'all are married and playing pretend online. Okay, half y'all still live in your mama's house, and half of y'all answer to a female supervisor. Okay, so this only exists online for men because men have no place in the world to truly be that which they pretend and claim to be online. You cannot get away with it. We cannot ever see it on the street. We don't ever see people acting like that on the street. We don't ever hear that conversation in a bar. We don't ever see it. We don't have, we see men who will probably be that online and they act nothing like they act online. They bald, got on some khakis with a plaid short sleeve shirt on, ordering noodles. Okay. Or they dusty asking their mama for $20 to buy some weed, or they're married and their wife makes all the money. So we don't see them in real life. We understand that you probably only exist online because you cannot come out and be this type of person in real life because it doesn't fit in the world. You would be laughed at. And the reason why it doesn't fit in the world is because it makes you look weak.
Now, y'all heard what she had to say just now. She basically said that y'all act this way on social media, but you're afraid to be it outside of it because of the stigma, whatever it could be. You know why it's difficult nowadays to basically express who you are is because a lot of people just aren't thinkers. A lot of people, they live in a society where you have to conform to everybody else. Now, I'm not saying she's totally wrong. There are guys on social media pump faking. Okay. I'm not saying she's totally wrong. She's making some valid points about some of you guys, man. Some of you guys do be out here pump faking, man. Y'all be one way in a chat room and comment section, but when you're around some of these women, man, y'all act a little different. But again, this just shows you the type of people that you're dealing with. You're dealing with people who are trying to teach the women in their audience that everything is the man's fault. You need to avoid these type of men. Go get the rich men, even though the rich men aren't going to choose some over 40-year-old woman with kids out of wedlock. He ain't going to choose that type of woman. But Shira 7 is not going to tell her audience that. What she's going to tell her audience is that you need to avoid these guys. These guys are weak and they're this and that. But Shira, you're spending energy on them. Your audience seems very triggered by these men. You know why? Because any ideology that is not about taking a man for his money is going to be frowned upon by you and the people in your audience. But let's go back into the commentary by Shira 7.
And you don't want to look weak in real life. And that's why you try to look strong online, because in real life, you couldn't do that. But it's okay. It's an outlet and it's better than the alternative, I should say. So I think it's healthy and it's okay. It's like role play. It keeps you sane. Do whatever you got to do to sleep at night. I don't really care. But don't think that we're stupid enough to realize or to not realize that it doesn't exist in the real world.
What she's telling her audience is that men going your own way doesn't really exist. Okay, let's say that men going their own way doesn't exist. Let's say it doesn't exist. What you do have is men who aren't wifing these women up. What's good, Ms. Holmes? There are men who aren't MGTOWs. There are men who aren't going their own way, who aren't red pill, who still are smashing and dashing these chicks. They are flat out refusing to marry these chicks. Flat out refusing to marry them. They're even flat out refusing to be in long-term relationships with these women, Shira. So yes, in a certain way, you do have these type of men who exist, but they just don't have a label. But at the end of the day, Shira, the women in your audience are dealing with are men who aren't marrying them. Men who don't see any long-term value in them. You know? Jay, I just put the link in the chat. You didn't see it? I just put the link to the video in the chat. I'll put it in there again. Let me put it in there very slowly. Okay, I'll put the link there. Now I'm about to press enter and you're going to see the link to the video. There is the link to the video right there. She's trying to give her audience encouragement that there is going to be a man that's going to come along, that's going to save the day, that's going to wipe the slate clean. Unfortunately, Shira, that's not going to happen. It may happen for some, but for most of them, if they don't change their mentality, they're going to forever be single. And they're going to be miserable, and they're going to blame men going your own way for that when they need to blame themselves for that, you know. But back to Shira and her encouraging words for her audience.
Okay. We don't see it anywhere. Everywhere we go, we don't see it. Have y'all seen it? How many ladies have ran into an MGTW man who was proud and talking about it in the public? Probably none. Right? No one. How many gold diggers have you seen in public? How many leveled up ladies have you seen in public with old men or sugar daddies getting their money, driving nice cars, coming out of a lot, right?
Well, let me just say this. Those women aren't telling those men that. Those men make the conscientious choice to spend money on those women. Those women just adapt to it. But those women are not telling those dudes, listen, I'm only with you for the money. Give the money up. If you want any of my time, you got to give the money up. They are not saying that whatsoever. You got men who are making the choice to spend money on these women. Okay, to the point to where you have women that don't need to say anything, Shira. But I guarantee you, if they're going around here talking about how much of a gold digger they are, how many dudes are going to deal with them? And what about the women that spend money on men? What about the women? Appreciate that, Gregory. How many women are tricking money off on men? Yo, how many women of today are tricking their money off on men? How many men got multiple women they're getting money from that they're able to sleep with whenever they want to? They can go lay up at their house, drive their car when they at work all day at one of their 2 jobs. There are a lot of women out here, and some of them are probably in Shira 7's chat room, who are taking care of a grown man. But they want to talk about how bad men going your own way is. They want to talk about how bad red-pilled men are. But they are taking care of grown men. That's why they're so bitter. And they need somebody to blame for that when they should be blaming themselves. You're giving them bad advice, Shira. Okay? There are men getting taken care of by not say a lot, but a good amount of women in your audience are financially supporting somebody. Okay, so instead of looking at certain ideologies on YouTube, what we do know is that there are men out here who don't claim to be going their own way. Okay, there are also men out here who aren't claiming to be red pill, but they are running through these women. And they're not giving these women a ring. they're not really making when they're probably making a few promises, but they're not long term with these women. They're not marrying these women. So what do you say about that? Yes, you have guys out here who aren't, waving the flag of, men going your own way. But again, you still got dudes that are running through these women and they don't have said ideology or that they're spreading it. I think you're looking at this the wrong way. Instead of talking about the men you don't see, let's talk about the men you do see and you give your energy to. Too many women are giving their energy to the wrong men. That's why they're on social media like Shira 7, mad, angry.
Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. You don't see those type of men. They're ashamed of themselves in public. If you're ashamed of what you represent in public, then you never really represent it. You only think it, which makes you weak because you can't take action on it, which makes you sad because you can't change it in order to not even have to.
Hold up. Make sure y'all like the video, man. The stream. This is some grade A classic shit right here. Like the stream.
Tend to be something online that you could actually become in real life if you just went and got, yourself together. Or understood, the value of a woman. So I don't really expect people to agree with me that are obviously in this crew, but I'm just trying to tell you that we don't see you. Where are you? Come out. We don't see you outside. We don't see you anywhere. So we don't know you exist. It's like you turn into a whole different person when you are in the presence of an actual woman. Your tune changes, you start stuttering and dropping stuff, and, opening your wallet. So I've never seen one in my life.
She say that they get nervous and they start stuttering and they start dropping things when they get around women in public. I will admit that, the men and women interactions publicly just aren't as fluid as they used to be, but the whole stuttering and dropping things, really? I told you she was funny. She was 7 say we stutter and drop shit when we get around women. Oh my goodness, man. Well, I want to ask y'all in the audience, do any of y'all stutter and get nervous and drop things when you get around women?
Okay. Just saying. Bye. Bye, kitty. Exactly, because they know the game. Most of these guys on here, they always say, "Oh, well, I wouldn't spend money on no woman." Knowing they saving their little paycheck up to go to the bar to buy some drinks for women, and they gonna get to sleep with them, and they probably leave empty-handed. So you spending money. We know you are. Women don't deal with men that's not spending money.
Well, I mean, yeah, if that's what he's leading with, but a lot of guys, again, they make those choices. They make those choices to lead with their wallets. Shout out to Real Knight. It says Jay, Malik, Yobe, and Young Buck are proof that some alpha men are bisexual. If you say so, bro.
Okay, unless they're Pick Misha and you hiding her too, if you are with her. Okay. And don't even want to be with her. Y'all both gotta hide. So they forget we were nourished by mama's umbilical cord. She breastfed you. Be appreciative and grow up dusty. That's actually funny you mentioned that, breastfeeding, because some I guess some MGTW crew member commented on one of my videos and called me a leech. And you know what I wrote back? I said, "What's breastfeeding?" with a question mark. I said, "What is breastfeeding?" And that's all I had to put, because you don't really have to defend yourself, ladies, because you are not in the wrong. That's why it's so easy to get what you want, because you are not in the wrong. You are actually in the right. You are correct in wanting someone to provide for you. That is their role.
You know what's crazy? She doesn't understand it, but she is promoting the MGTOW tag by speaking about it in her stream, because I noticed there are people in the chat that didn't know what it was. This is how you spread an ideology, Shira. This is how MGTOW grew like it did, because we had a lot of women who started making videos and live streams about it back in 2014, 2015. And that's when it started to spread, because a lot of people who didn't even know what it was started to learn about it. And the thing is, those women are going to go do the research. They're going to go look up videos. They're going to actually listen to a lot of men going their own way. And they're going to look at their lives and say, you know what? They may not be as bad as they're proclaiming them to be. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. Shout out to the Loving Homes. Shira don't be knowing what she is talking about. I stopped watching her in 2017. She is giving false hope and promises to women, thinking they're going to get a wealthy man. Well, that was a good choice you made, Loving Homes. And you know what the crazy thing is? There are going to be some women who are going to listen to this stream of hers, and they're going to stop watching her too, because, you know, Shira's basically going through the motions, and you can tell that she's going through the motions. You know, this is all about promoting her products. This is all about her brand. She doesn't even do videos. All she do is go live, because she has 1,000 live viewers of followers looking for answers, and she's been trying to give them answers for the last couple of years. I mean, is it working? Obviously it isn't, because they're going to be women who are, once again, they're going to go do the work and the research to really go and figure out what men going your own way is, what are their grievances, the issues that they speak about, and they're going to empathize with that, Shira. They're not going to shy away from it like you and some of your other strong, hardcore supporters are. And that's the thing that we have in society, is that you have some women that are waking up, but you have others who are asleep, because once again, Shira 7 tells them it's not their fault.
And you shouldn't have to play their role and your role. What kind of movie or play or entertainment would that be? You gonna play everybody? You gonna be Nutty Professor? You gonna be the mama, the daddy, the sister, the cousin, and the brother? Okay, play your role, so I could stop costume changing and switching my voice up. Play your role. And the whole point is, we don't see you out there. You don't exist in the real world. You only exist on the internet where you feel safe.
You know, people can say the same thing about a lot of women when they are attention seeking on social media. They don't get that same attention in their city, especially if they're in a big city. They're going to get likes and comments and guys hitting on them on social media. But outside of that, these women get largely ignored. All you have to do is ask them. Go ask some of these women, some of these, you know, social media influencers, do they get the same attention offline as they do online? And you probably hear the same thing, you know. But we have a lot of false hope being given out here to these women. We need to be real with these women. The only way a woman is going to truly awaken to her femininity is if she understands she is a woman, not a gold digger, not a bag chaser, a woman. Shout out to Shira. Subscribe, hit the like button. Appreciate that, Shira.
But the point is, that's okay. That's okay. But don't come in here acting like you are real. Because you're a woman, in 2 seconds will ask for some money in public. Okay? We real.
Shira, you say that you're weird.
Y'all come in here.
You say that you're real, but you and others be having pounds and pounds of makeup on. Again, I'm not against women wearing makeup. I want women to be dolled up and look good because that's what women do. But when you talk about people being real or not real, what about the women that are getting the surgeries and, again, putting on the pounds of makeup and they're putting on other people's DNA on top of their heads? Don't talk about being real. We can have those conversations too. You know what I'm saying?
Type y'all little capital letters, that it means nothing. All I see is some capital letters. Doesn't mean anything. Capital letters coming from broke man typing. That's all that registers. Broke man typing.
You know, it's funny that they say that men going your own way are broke. Do you know how many MGTOW content creators are getting funded by other men who have money and resources? But women like Shira 7 wouldn't understand that because you haven't took the time to actually understand that ideology goes deep. You have men who work blue collar jobs. You got men who own businesses, men who are very successful, and they are funding a lot of the MGTOW content creators. But you wouldn't understand that. I've had dudes who are going their own way who've financially supported me over the years. But see, in sizable amounts. But again, you wouldn't understand that because you're thinking that if a man is going on his own way, he has to be broke. There's no other reason why he would want to go his own way. A man who can get women wouldn't go his own way. Come on, man. A lot of these guys who are going their own way, they've been married. They've been married probably multiple times or been in multiple relationships with women. So it's not like they can't get a woman. They just don't want to end up with the wrong women. You know? But, I mean, trust me and believe. A lot of these guys who are going their own way, they're doing just fine. Okay? They're doing just fine. You'd be surprised who's going their own way.
Shira is fire with her words. Now, I'm not talking about young men who are trying to make it in the world and, A, B, C, and D. I'm talking about old dudes that want you to settle for mediocrity. I'm talking about people that have careers and jobs and, 30s and up, I'm not talking about people that just got out of school and trying to make it in the world. I'm never talking about you. You're not on the register. You still have time. I'm talking about these guys.
Well, let me tell you this, Shira. A lot of these guys now who are going the wrong way, these guys are in their late teens, early 20s. They're young professionals. They're young businessmen. That's where the ideology is. Now, if you want to talk about some of these lazy Gen Xers, some of these old heads that are out here, a lot of the guys that she claims are the ones that are broken old. A lot of those guys are probably simps that you're trying to include in men going the wrong way. A lot of the older guys who are going the wrong way are guys who've been married, they've had relationships, they're just done. That doesn't mean they're broke. Okay? Jada Black, her man is supposed to be rich. That's why she thinks she can give advice, and I think her man had a girlfriend or wife before he left his current wife or girlfriend for her. Yeah, I think she did brag once about that, Loving Holmes. I think she did brag about that, But yeah, you have a lot of young men who are going the wrong way. Maybe that's where the panic is setting in, I think that's where the panic is setting in, because you got younger guys. Like, I have a lot of guys who are in their late teens, early 20s who listen to me, and they want to avoid the Shira 7s of the world who are going to, make their life miserable by chasing after their money and resources. You know what I'm saying?
Guys who want you to live off of $45,000 a year and be happy. I'm talking to them. The ones that don't want to do anything with their lives. Um, that's all I'm saying. You got one job to provide. Why can't you do that correctly? And it's not, I'm just being harsh because that's the best way to hear something. If you sugarcoat stuff, people don't listen. So understand my harshness is so that I can be, heard. But honestly, you have one job. One.
You know what's interesting? A lot of the younger guys of today are doing very well for themselves. Even though some of these guys may have come from 2-parent homes, may have come from single parent homes. Maybe they didn't even have their parents. They are not, falling into the same traps as the men before them. I think Shira 7 and others who are trying to teach these women to be more feminine, I think they need to discuss the problems that the previous generation had with the women in that generation. And they need to talk about who are the weak links, so to speak, in society. And I just believe that they're pointing the finger at an ideology when they need to look at the fact that there are just a lot of men who dropped the ball over the past 30 some odd years, 40 some odd years. We got to look at that. And just blaming an ideology is not going to solve your problems. It's not going to help these women find husbands. You have to look at the people that are dragging certain communities down. You look at the high number of single mothers on Section 8 welfare. You have a high number of men who either don't have a skill or education, and they're just not doing anything. So we have to look also at the fact that, a lot of young men ain't having kids. A lot of these guys are not having kids at young ages, which actually helps them financially. It helps them be able to make more moves, because a lot of men in the previous generation, they had kids when they were teenagers. So they had to start work immediately, or they had to go into the military, or a lot of these guys turned to, running the streets. So we really have to look at the fact that a lot of times, especially over the past 30, 40 years, you had a lot of issues as far as, especially in the black community, men and women being able to build with each other because we had a lot going on. A lot. We just couldn't connect things together. A lot of fatherlessness. You had the government programs that have wreaked havoc, that the women are just, they're basically the government subsidies is just like life support to these women. It's like a air mask for these women. They can't get off it. It's like a breathing machine. They can't get off the breathing machine. And that's what the government is to a lot of these women. And because of that, they raise these kids in these impoverished areas, and they just don't have the will to want to do better. I would say there are those who do want to do better, but you do have a segment that really just don't want to do any better, and to blame again an ideology is not the way to go. You have to get to the root of it. If Shira 7 was honest with her audience and say, we have a single mother epidemic going on. You have a lot of these men who won't marry a single mother. They won't date a single mother. If she would be honest with her audience, she would tell them that a lot of these guys are not going to date, women who are overweight. But she's not going to do that because she knows she's going to lose a good amount of her audience, because you have a lot of women who really, they have nowhere else to go in society. They really don't. And they're going to blame anybody they can in order to not be able to look themselves in the mirror and say, this is on me.
Provide. Protect is we're in the age now where protection means providing. We're in the age now where protection means to have, savings, money, and backup plans. And because we can have we got our own protection now. But that's what it has translated.
When they mean that they have their own protection, they mean that they have the government or they have police. Do you know how many times you will have women get into it with dudes and she would immediately want to threaten to call the police? That is their protection. They don't really look to men to protect them, especially in the black community. the women don't necessarily look for the men to protect them because they know that with one phone call, they can call the police. So when they talk about protection, it's bullshit, okay? Because we all know if they actually wanted protection, they wouldn't be trying to call the police on their boyfriend every time they get into an argument, or they don't put their hands on this man and this man done flipped out.
Into now. So you got one job, basically, get that money. Okay. And if you can't do that right, then we know you can't do nothing else right. Just saying. You got one thing to do. If you had one thing to do and you couldn't do it correct, how would the world see you? You know, not good. That is like the triangle player in the orchestra playing the wrong note at the wrong time. He got one job. Don't even have to know any notes. Okay? You know, you over here playing the violin and the drums and the xylophone with your feet, and one foot is playing the gong, and then you whistling on a flute, and he got one job to hit the triangle.
You know what? You're right, Jewel. She is making these women very dependent when they should want to be independent, but also want a man who could be a man. Just like I say, women should want to be women. They should seek men who want to be men. And we are in a society, shout out to Saliva, 45,000 years not being broke. She bugging. Well, I mean, if you're saving money as well, if you're saving money, but again, money management isn't, women like Shira 7's strong suit. It's not that, it's spending money, putting themselves in debt. I wonder how many of the women listening to Shira 7 isn't in, college debt or in, credit card debt, and they need a man to come and save them.
On cue. Okay. So that's how we see you guys. Like, you got one job. It's not that hard. Just go do it and be good at it and come bring us the money from it. Okay. That's it. I know men are going to say, oh, that's selfish. And why can't you do your own work? And we're not. That's because y'all have been brainwashed to be feminine. And that's why you think that. Okay.
Once again, we got to get to the root of it. Why are these men feminine? Why are these men, according to Shira 7, why are these men feminine? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about why these men are feminine. Okay. Let's look at, you have young boys growing up in single parent households. No father figure. He's around a bunch of women. So you have young men who grow up reliant on women, their mothers, their grandmothers, and you got some of these guys that are comfortable living off women. Okay, let's look at how these these men or young males are dressing. There is a feminine element that has grown in our society, but again, you have to get to the root of it. Why are they that way? You got some of these guys that are over 30 still living with their mother. We got to look at the babying of these young boys. No father figures. The mother's not letting the sons be around the fathers. It's good, T. Malone, to see you. So we got to get to the root of it. And, you got certain people, they want to overlook that and say all the men are feminine. We got to get to the root of why they're feminine. If you're saying that they're feminine, we got to get to the root. Why are they feminine? Not that, oh, they're just feminine. Okay, why are they feminine?
So, your excuses are feminine excuses. That's what we say. You understand? That's our line. You got the wrong line. That's our line. Okay, you can't say that. That's not in your script. That's in our script. Okay, so whenever we hear that, it's like, oh my God. We start seeing you as a more feminine version of yourself. Don't you, ladies? Whenever you hear that come out of a man's mouth, don't they just turn a little bit more feminine to you? Like, yes. Because alpha men, they don't have to care how women see them because they see themselves and they have money, and it doesn't matter even what they look like. You can be old with age spots all over your face and be an alpha male and don't care what nobody thinks because you got money. Okay? If you are a real alpha man, you wouldn't worry about your clothes being ironed. You wouldn't worry about, how people see you because it don't matter because you can buy them.
So okay, a real alpha male is a guy that doesn't worry about whether his clothes are wrinkled, just that he has money so he can just walk out the house looking like whatever. He's an alpha male, so he can do that. That's a new one.
You worry about what people think of you. You worry about your boss, what they think of you when you come late. You worry about your bank account when you decide you want to go somewhere on vacation. Can you afford it? You worry about what people think of you when you drive down the street in your car. That's not something impressive to a woman. So you can't be no alpha male.
One person said, ain't no alpha male MGTW in this chat. Alpha men don't have to tell anyone they're alpha. We just see it. Well, that's actually a good point because you got people that tell you every day they're alpha males. Ain't nothing alpha about them. They go out here paying bills.
Unless you alpha male to pick Misha, and that don't even count. You can't be an alpha male if your woman is pick Misha.
And what's this whole pick me shit? Like, listen, all you chicks are getting picked. Let me tell you something, man. The majority of women are basically pick me's. Yes, you do choose the men you want to sleep with, but when it comes to relationships and marriages, we have the final say so. Yes, we do. Unless you're with a guy who's a complete simp and he's waiting, come on, date me. Please date me. But other than that, for the most part, it's up to a man to say, yes, I want to date you. Yes, I want to marry you. So you're getting picked either way. When you are a gold digger and you want a man with money, you're going to do whatever it takes to get that man with money. You're going to be a pick me. You know why? Because you're going to do everything in your power to impress him like y'all claim pick me's do. That's why the whole pick me word don't even make sense.
Okay. It's just like you're playing the cosplay of an alpha male. You just cosplaying an alpha male if your woman is a pick Misha. You pretending and stuff. So you can't claim alpha male if you ain't got alpha male money. If you sitting around dating pick Misha, you not alpha male. You just not.
Okay, what about, I did a video about Cam Newton today. What about these successful rich men who go out here and they date ex-scrippers, porn stars, IG models, get them pregnant? What do you say about that? Are those men alpha males, or are they just men that's very sloppy?
I'm sorry, but that's just the honest truth. That would be like me claiming, okay, let me see. That would be like me claiming to be a alpha female and I don't have anybody or anything to prove that I'm alpha. I'm not anybody's boss. I don't have anybody to boss around. I don't even have friends. So how could I be I don't compete against anybody, but I claim to be an alpha female because of the way I think. And the word alpha comes from the animal kingdom. Okay. So if you are comparing yourself to a dog, an alpha dog, and you are on that level of being a dog and an alpha dog. So, okay, you represent the leader of a pack of dogs. Are y'all stray? Because I don't see packs of dogs running around no more unless they got rabies and strays. Y'all ain't got no owners. Y'all ain't got no home. Y'all ain't got y'all checkups, and y'all ain't got no collar on or nothing. Like, y'all just roaming around the neighborhood in a pack, and one is the leader. Like, honestly.
Okay, I think she's starting to ramble a little bit. That's about enough. I just wanted to speak on that real quick, you know? Because I honestly, though, I think a lot of women are just confused these days. I don't even think they know what they want. I don't think they know what they want. I think they're in this weird space of trying to be what they think that, I guess, us as men want them to be, so they can get the successful rich of our society. But they have to understand that, a lot of these successful rich men want feminine women, not pretend feminine women. They want the real thing because they're going to see right through you. Just like, attractive women, they deal with, men trying to hit on them every day. Rich men have to deal with women trying to get with them every day. They have to deal with women, looking to be chose, and those rich men are going to see through you because eventually, you're not going to be able to hide and mask who you are. Your true colors are going to show. Your true colors are going to show. And a lot of those guys are able to see it before they get caught up in a situation where you flip on them. The flip is going to happen, and, a lot of these guys who are rich and successful are able to avoid the flipping. You just becoming a different person once the relationships start, and I think that's what they don't understand. I don't think they really understand. I may have to do a secondary video on this or a secondary live stream. But you got these older women, man, they need to be real and get to the root. That's the only way these women are going to actually learn anything. But rich men can see through a lot of these gold diggers. That's why these women will be back on YouTube looking up advice on how to get a rich man. A lot of these younger guys are not wifing these chicks up. They not saving the day. A lot of these women that done fucked around, done screwed around, dated the wrong type of dudes, that's it. You're not going to get another chance with these guys, And what's funny is that they will then say, well, I only want to deal with rich men, older men. And it's like, okay, do those guys feel the same way? Because I see a lot of older men bragging about dating younger women. So they're not even looking in your direction for the most part. They don't really see you as a viable dating option. You're in a state of delusion, like Lizzo's fans. Like these Lizzo fans, man. These Lizzo fans are in a constant state of delusion, man. I had one chick DM me talking shit to me. I think because I had made a video about Lizzo. That's their mentality. They have this delusional mentality, and unfortunately, there are women who suffer from that. They suffer from that delusion. I think they need help. I seriously do, because unless you're able to understand your faults, you'll never be able to get anywhere. And we as people need to understand our faults before we fall into a situation where we're just bitter. And I tell a lot of guys, I say, listen, you need to live for yourself. live your life with absolutely no limits or no type of boundaries, because you don't want to regret anything. You don't want to feel like you're living for other people. You know, don't try to be a part of no group. You know, be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be like other people is not going to work. It really isn't. You have to live for yourself, because by living for yourself, you'll truly be happy. You'll never be happy trying to live for other people, you know? And for the most part, I think there are a lot of women out here who are they've missed it as far as being able to have the life that they want, and they want to blame everybody else for why they don't have the lifestyle that they want. When really, they need to just look themselves in the mirror. You know, self-accountability is definitely what they need, you know? We got to be able to hold ourselves accountable. You know, we have to look at the mistakes that we made. There's nothing wrong with that. Because that's the only way we're going to learn. We can't learn if we're bitter and angry and pointing the finger. Yes, you know, I've done videos about women and female nature, but I don't point the finger specifically at them. I'm always saying, you know what? There are things that I can improve on. There are things that I can work on. It's not just them. And I point this out. Now, some people miss it. Some people don't want to hear that, but I always talk about my mistakes and the things that I did that I want to improve on. It's never a situation where it's the woman's fault always. No, you don't grow like that. I feel like I've grown a lot in the past 5 years. I think I have grown tremendously as a person, as a man. And I have more of a reflective mindset than I did when I was in my 20s. In my 20s, I wasn't reflective at all. Okay. But now I'm more reflective because I'm making the videos, you know, doing the live streams. But I think it's very unhealthy to blame an ideology for why you're not getting where you want to go. Saying that there is no men going your own way in real life, how would you know that? You know, I worked in pretty much all male spaces. This last place I was at, this plant I was at, it was only men there. And there was a female that worked in the office. But it was literally a male space. It was just us. We can say and do how we wanted to as men. You know, we didn't have to change up. We didn't have to filter the conversation. There was no attention seeker in the bunch. It was just us being able to be ourselves. You know, which is actually a better work environment for a lot of men. It was for me. Even had a male supervisor, even though he was a fucking idiot, but you know. You know, I don't think we have to go out there with the flag about, hey, I'm going my own way. No, that's not what it's about. I think when we have conversations with other men, we can say, you know what, you know, this is how I live my life. This is, this is how my relationships are going to be, or this is how they are. This is how my lifestyle is. And then they're going to ask more questions. Okay, well, why don't you want to get married? You know, why don't you want to have kids? And then you can explain to them in your own way why this is the best decision for you. And then you can leave it up to them to decide whether or not that's something for them. But going around waving the flag, it's not needed. We see men going their own way all the time. They're in Hollywood, their music. I mean, for the longest time, you know, people were getting on Keanu Reeves because he was just single. He wasn't in any relationships for a very long time. Now, recently, he popped up with a girlfriend that he was cool with for a long time, Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, what serious relationship has he ever been in? And people are upset at you got older, bitter women upset at him because he's a bachelor and he dates nothing but younger women in their early 20s. I don't think you have to go around saying, hey, I'm going my own way. No, you don't have to do that. You never should have to do that. The way you live your life is your energy. People are going to come to you for advice. They're going to ask you. They're going to come to you. You really don't have to say much to them. They're going to come to you. His girlfriend isn't that much older than him. They're basically about the same age, close to, I believe. They were trying to say she's old, but then I looked up her age and she's not that much older than him. That they're around the same age. She just looks old. She just looks older. Unless I seen something different, but because I was gonna do a video on it, but then I actually looked it up. I was like, okay, she's not that old. Chris, I wasn't planning on opening up the phone lines. No, I may, but open up the phone lines. We're gonna have to keep the calls extremely brief. Let's see. I got some time, so I may take a couple of calls, man. So I highly suggest y'all start calling in now. All right, hold on a second. All right. But let's keep the calls short, people. I will have to cut some people off. Don't take it personal. But yeah. So if you want to call in, call in. Yo, you're live with Jada Black. What's going on?
I had to be the first one. This is Chris. Nice to speak to you live, brother.
What's going on, Chris? You gotta turn your background down now.
Not at all, brother. Hey, I just wanted to kind of switch the... Yeah, I just want to kind of switch up the thing real quick. I know we talked about, when we're dating women.
Yeah, you gotta turn your background down, man. Yo, you gotta turn your background down, man.
Sorry, brother. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hey, so I want to switch this up real quick, and this isn't going to take too long, but here's what I was thinking. The same complaints that, we have in terms of engagement with women, in the social environment, those things are 3 times stronger in a corporate or a business environment. Those same games that, I hear this woman was playing, or that seed that she was trying to plant, pretty much makes, a corporate environment with a black woman who saddles up to you and acts like, they want to be your mentoree or whatever. put you in a position where you open yourself up for sexual harassment charges, put yourself into a position where you're sitting up there trying to figure out, who told what because you opened up to this woman about something, and it puts you up into a position where they're taking and snatching your ideas. So I'm going to leave, all of, the conversation, but quite frankly, this thing goes much, much further than just sitting up there talking about we giving our money to the wrong women. This type of woman is dangerous because she's empowering a whole group of people to be dangerous and to be able to attack black men who are trying to advance the right way, and then all of a sudden have a bed wench, kind of jump on them and then kill them. So, brother, I'm going to slide on off, but I appreciate you taking my phone call. I just thought to bring that up for my other culprit brothers that are out here may not be aware of this kind of situation.
Okay.
Take care, brother.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for the call, man. Shout out to you, man. That was a good point. And it is dangerous because you're preaching no accountability to women who need accountability. They need structure. Because once they get into a structured environment or relationship, then what? Shout out to Shira. Good video. I'm getting off blue pill habit myself. Okay. Well, improvement is basically definitely the way to go. I know we had a couple people. What is it? 2 callers calling now. The line is open. All right, you're live with Jada Black. What's going on?
Man, what's going on, OG? You already know, man. I've been trying to call in for like the last couple shows. It just been, man.
Yeah.
I ain't been able to get in this
man,
joint.
yo, listen, man. There'll be a lot of callers calling in, man. Then there'll be people on the line, man. That's just how it is, man.
On me. Yeah. But, man, you already know what I'm about to say about what's going on now, man.
Okay.
Look, check this out. We live in an era, like now, to where relationships is nothing but temporary. Like, if you my age, like, if you like 21 or younger, you have a 99% chance of relationship failure. Because y'all have to understand, this, like, I don't care what no female say, they always want what they don't have at that moment. Check this out. Like, just like this level up crap they be talking about. You could be this type of dude that they want or whatever like this. If a nigga that's better come along, bro, you gonna be left in the dust. And I know dudes be all, I'm gonna try to turn her into this, turn into that, bro. Females want what other females, like, check this out. I'm gonna keep it brief too.
Okay.
You niggas had to realize that girls can change at the drop of a dime, bro. They can like you one day and not like you the next. Check this out. Now, I've been talking to this girl for a couple weeks or whatever, right? But I got a girlfriend. But look, the girl know I got a girlfriend though. Now listen, me and her was talking, bro. Check this out. She asked me. She say. Now she know I got a girlfriend. She talking about some. Look, I know I got a boyfriend and all this, but look, I really like you, and I'll break up with him if you would just treat me like you treat your girlfriend. I'm like, like, bitch, what's wrong with you? I'm gonna keep it PG. I'm gonna keep it my bad.
All
Keep
right.
it PG. I told her, I was like, nah, bro. Ever since I said that, it got worse. Like, she, man, look, call me every day. What you doing? When you coming over? I said, what about your boyfriend? I don't even talk to him like that no more. Now check this out. Let's say I did end up messing with her or whatever. How I know she ain't gonna do what she doing me with the next day? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all have to realize the girls in this day and age cannot be trusted, bro. No.
Yeah, from some of the stuff that I've
And this
seen.
level up thing,
Yeah.
they hate the MGTW.
Yeah.
They hate the MGTW, the red pill stuff like ISBM. They hate it because they see men is getting fed up, and they see that we starting to, you know what I'm saying, just do our own little thing. Because this is my thing. They quick to say, oh, men should give me this and give me that. But the only thing a woman can give you is her body. She's good for nothing else after that. I don't care what none of you niggas say. After she give you that, bro, it's nothing left over. So they starting to realize, oh, I'm having sex with this dude doing this, that, this. They up and leaving. I seen something on Instagram yesterday. Like I said, I'm going to keep it brief. A couple more seconds, OG.
All right.
The girl say, you can cook, clean, be a housewife, be a freak, do this, do that, and the dude still going to cheat on you. I'm like, yeah, because not only have you been with like 5 or 6 other dudes before me, treating you right, not gonna get me nowhere. You gonna start walking over me, but dude that slap you in the face with, calling you this and that, you love that nigga dirty jaw. Like, men is like waking up. and they learning the juice ain't worth the squeeze.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing,
all right.
If y'all watching this video, y'all got to get a like, bell, a ring, ding, ding, nigga.
Right.
That's all I got to say, OG.
All right, bro. Thanks for the call. Salute to you. All right.
All right.
All right. Shout out to the youngin. Yeah, the lines are still open. I'm gonna take a few more callers, man. Y'all already know I got to get the fuck out of here. I gotta go and get my movie watching now. Okay. Red Pill Life say, it's been a while, man. What's going on? Call in. I mean, if that's it, I can close it down. I don't even think anybody was calling in. Caller was on. All right. I just think that men just have a different self-awareness than they ever have before, and women are a little uneasy about that because, I am determined because they've been used to running circles around men for a while, man. They have, man. They've been running circles around men. We can't say they haven't. But nowadays things are different, and I think some women are just nervous about that, which they shouldn't be. You should want a man to be strong and to be smart and not be dumb. You know, that's what you should want. Shit. You shouldn't want nobody who's gonna be an idiot. You should want somebody with some intelligence about them, you know? Because, you know, a guy who's a leader, not a follower. Shout out to Liana, the good nurse, late fee. Well, I appreciate that, Liana. Yeah, you definitely kind of late. Definitely kind of late. So I guess that was it. All right, now this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna close the phones because again, I don't want this stream to be too long. I want y'all to hear it in its entirety. When the streams get too long, y'all don't watch it. I look at the analytics. Y'all don't watch these long streams. So I'm gonna edit down the first part, maybe even the latter part. I want people to hear this stream in its entirety. Because this is sort of like a response stream, you know. Thanks, Gerard. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close the line down. I'm not gonna be waiting here all day for people to call in. All right. But shout out to everybody that's here, man. Hopefully y'all are ready for the weekend. Y'all gonna have a good weekend. You had a tough, hard fought work week. You got through it. Now you got a couple of days to relax before you get back into the grind. But I definitely want to sort of do something that's a little bit more lighthearted at its points. You know, I may every like Friday or so, I may do a response stream. You know, because I be seeing some things I be wanting to respond to, but I just sort of just sit back because, you know, you got to be careful when it comes to YouTube because you can't talk about anything. You can't talk about everything because the way YouTube is now, you know, you really have to be careful, and so you don't get, you know, in any type of situations, which can happen for some reason. It happens, okay. But make sure y'all like the stream. Also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Y'all already know all that. And check out the video I did on Cam Newton today on my Jada Black channel. And again, people, if there's any topics I need to see, you got to send it to the email. That's really the only way I want to see it, or IG. Destination Motivation. I think I've gotten close to love. in my younger years. I think I've gotten close to that destination. Destination, are you trying to love me? Destination, are you trying to love me? Destination. I think destination's trying to love me. That's the email right there. The same topics there. Also, you become a member of the channel, people. I'm put the link in here too. Become a member of the channel. What's up, Will? Yeah, Will, you're a little late, broski. A little late, broski. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out, man. Hopefully y'all have a good weekend. I'll see y'all on the next live stream. All right. Y'all take care. And red pill all day.